Hello everyone, I'm Hashmita, technical content creator at Block Quantum. So in this tutorial, we'll be learning about quantum kernel regression or QKR and see how it can be implemented on Block Quantum platform. So by the end of this video, you will be able to understand what QKR is, how it works, the reported configuration parameters, and then how to choose the right feature map for your regression problem. So, what exactly is a quantum kernel regression? Quantum kernel regression is a machine learning technique used for predicting continuous values. So, instead of using classical kernels like the radial basis function or the RBF kernel, QKR computes similarity between the data points using a quantum circuit. So, the workflow combines two ideas. First, a quantum feature map, which transforms this classical data into quantum state, and then a classical rich regression model which uses the resulting quantum kernel matrix to make predictions. So, if you're familiar with the quantum support vector machine, you can think of QKR as a regression counterpart of QSPM, which is designed for the classification task. Let's see how QKR works. So first we start with the data set and next the input features are encoded into the quantum state using the selected feature map. So these quantum states are then processed through a quantum circuit. The platform calculates the kernel matrix which measures the similarity between every pair of samples by computing the overlaps between these quantum states. And finally the kernel matrix is passed to a classical rich regression algorithm which in turn predicts the continuous output values. So while the quantum computer handles similarity calculations, the final prediction is still performed using the classical regression model. Now let's look at the main parameters which we'll be configuring in the block dashboard. So the number of qubits first, which determines how many input features are encoded, and then the feature map, which specifies how the classical data is embedded into the quantum state, and then it's the circuit depth, which controls how many times the feature map is repeated, and then the alpha parameter, which sets the regularization strength for which regression, and then you can choose the execution device such as a simulator or a real quantum process. So for simulation, you can select methods like state vector, density matrix, or matrix product state. During development, it's recommended to start with the add state vector simulator using a simple Z feature map and then increase the circuit depth only if better accuracy is needed. The block platform offers several feature maps. So Z feature map is the simplest option. It uses a single qubit rotation and works well as a fast baseline for simple data sets. And the ZZ feature map introduces entanglement between qubits, which makes it better for data sets where features interact with one another. And then the poly feature map provides more flexibility through generalized poly operators. For hardware friendly implementations, efficient SU2 is a good choice. And if your application requires something unique, you can even create a custom feature map. So a good rule of thumb is to begin with the Z feature map and then move to more complex feature maps if the model's performance stops improving. So to summarize, quantum kernel regression combines quantum kernel computation with classical rich regression. And then the feature maps play a crucial role in determining how your data is represented in the quantum space. And then choosing the right parameters such as the number of qubits, circuit depth, feature map, and regularization strength can significantly improve your prediction performance. So the block quantum platform provides an intuitive workflow that makes this experimenting with quantum enhanced regression much easier. So let's work through the implementation now. So you're on Blocks platform now, and here I could start a new experiment, and then here we enter the title to be QKR, and then selecting the task as it's a custom task, and then QKR, and then uploading this data set, then fixing the number of users. Maybe I'll increase this to 2. And for now, I've chosen the Z feature map, and the simulator methods which are available on blocks are these: a state vector density matrix, product state, and then a stabilizer. So then let's run it. So let's take a look at the model's performance. So the quantum kernel regression model achieved a R square score of 0.74. So this means that it explains about 74% of the variation in the target values, which indicates a good overall fit. And the mean square error is 21.61 with the root mean square error of 4.65. This shows that the model's predictions are on average about 4.6 units away from the actual values. So finally, the mean absolute error is 3.36, which indicates a relatively low average prediction error. Overall, the results demonstrate that the model provides reliable regression performance with reasonably accurate predictions, and also on varying the other parameters here, better more result can be obtained. So that's for today's tutorial. Thank you.